Up until 1945, Europe was constantly somewhere, somehow, ravaged by war. This came to an end, and for 70 years now, members of the EU have known peace. This democratic peace invokes a sense of security and stability, and for the sake of coping with the austerity after the 2008 economic crisis, many member states took measures to limit military spending. However, with the worrying situation in Ukraine and Syria, as well as the expansion of the Islamic State, member states are now reconsidering decisions made to cut back on military spending. In addition, the EU's Common Security and Defence Policy, CSDP, has come under critique recently due to its lack of legislative weight and incentive for member states to actually use the policy. Many worry about the instability in neighboring regions and suggest that member states are at the moment defenseless. Today, the Berlin Plus Agreement outlines the cooperation, responsibilities and boundaries between the EU and NATO. The Berlin Plus Agreement is under heavy critique for essentially having failed. The EU stands nearly without means to defend its members and neighbors. This is where the question of hard power comes in. Hard power is defined as the use of military or economical means to influence the actions of political bodies. Soft power, on the other hand, is the use of diplomatic means and role modeling to provide influence. Hard power versus soft power can be pictured as American foreign politics versus EU foreign politics. The question at hand is, should the EU acquire such hard powers or not? When thinking of this, you should not only keep in mind the current situation, but also the core values of the EU: peace, human rights and diplomacy. And is new EU legislation the way to go? Or should we focus on improving the already existing cooperation with NATO? The options in this issue are not as clear as they may seem. The ideological standpoint of opting for hard or soft power is not an absolute. There is considerable middle ground. Opting to develop hard power does not directly signify increasing a military presence or even indicate an increase in spending, but rather a reallocation of funds or development of already existing structures and measures. Nor does developing soft power entail that the EU simply continues as it is today, but rather could require a greater focus on diplomatic strength. As you can see, there is no this or that answer to the issue. The discussion on the identity of the EU is a tricky one, and the answer is probably somewhere in between. But resolutions need to be implemented, and we need to decide.